So hello, beautiful people, or good evening. I just felt tonight I really wanted to cover an oil or a blend that, that is one of my favourite blends, and I think every woman should have one living in her purse, and every man that wants to really work on the relationship with his own divine feminine or strained relationships with his mother should also have. So before we start, I thought I'd pull us a card. Okay, and then one fell out. So I'm giving away my Louise Hay cards just as I draw them for different people. So this one says, my life is a mirror. The people in my life are really mirrors of me. This affords me the opportunity to grow and change. So take that into your day or your night and see what is life mirroring to you right now. What reality, what stories are you living right now? What are you not seeing that you need to see to start living your life in more truth or more truthful ways? And so with that, I feel a topic that's been really close to my heart, and this is before I was a mother and before I was married, back in my life of, single career woman, really inspired, wanting to save the world, humanitarian, that kind of thing. I got into this woman, Dr. Pat Allen, and you either love her or you hate her, and most of my really close friends know my relationship with Dr. Pat Allen. She's well in her 80s now. So I don't know how I came across her, probably from one teacher to the next. She came up on my radar, and she's very old-fashioned in a way, but in a way she's politically incorrect but scientifically accurate. So her teaching was a lot around masculine and feminine energies within us, not the stuff that you're seeing around at the moment, the divine feminine, the divine masculine. There's a lot of teachings on that, and they kind of merge and come together in some way, but her teaching is very different, so it can be quite triggering for some people. Most women, well, not most women, I'm generalizing there again, many women just hate her, but once you read her book, and if it does change your life, you kind of go back to it and you go, why didn't I get this to begin with? So why am I talking about her? Okay, because the oil or the blend I wanted to talk to you about is called Whisper. It's one of my favorites. It's very soft and sweet, and I don't know if I've ever done a video just on Whisper. I've generally done videos on Whisper with something else perhaps, but I just felt this deserved a video by itself. And basically the reason why I'm wanting to share this is because on the weekend I was very scattered, very busy, being a mother, which we think is quite feminine, but actually if you look at the role of mothering, it actually brings us into a masculine. Nurturing is masculine. It's a beautiful mothering quality, but unfortunately mothering is masculine, or not unfortunately, it's just what it is. It keeps us busy. It keeps us in survival mode, in 3D mode, because we have to feed that child. We have to look after their needs, especially for the first 7 years of their life, or more so at least the first 3 years. It kind of hoping it gets easier after that, but we're still very connected with our children for the first 7 years. And I learned this actually recently from a Steiner teacher at the school where my little one goes, is that the reason why women struggle with going back to work in the first 7 years of their child's life is because there's this etheric connection that the mother and child share. So their brain is just kind of connected to their child. So in a way, they kind of just feel really unrestful when they're away from them. Now, I'm not talking about attachment. I'm just talking about this energy between the mother and child. And when you think about the womb and having carried that child for 9 months, and then there's this ethereal energy that's like a invisible umbilical cord. And I know for myself, I've had absolutely no desire to go back to full-time employment in terms of working in an office 9 to 5, which is what I used to do. Not so much in the office. I had a very interesting job and very interesting careers and opportunities that, I left behind before motherhood, but I have absolutely no desire to work in this environment of 9 to 5, especially while she's little. And so that's why I'm grateful that doTERRA is in my life, because it is something that I can work between my own hours and The only downside to that is sometimes I'm kind of doing it in between mothering and late at night, like right now, and in the mornings, and having to be connected to my phone 24/7, which really irritates me because I've just had to accept it. Now this is turning into a life video about my life instead of whisper, so I'm sorry, but I feel like I needed to share that with mothers and with women before I talk about the blend. So the reason I'm sharing that is because when we are mothering, okay, and we're very much in that physical energy, we're very much in our masculine energy, and it is important to come back to a place of that femininity so that we can soften and feel the feelings and feel good about ourselves again. And also in our relationships, because if we're constantly mothering, it can really throw the energy off in our relationships with our partners, if we're still in relationships, of course, provided, we're still married or we're still, parenting together and not. And, there's a lot of research talking about people separating quite early on, especially in the first 2 or 3 years of their child's life, because the stress of parenting is quite stressful on the relationship. I'm not sure why I'm talking about this right now. So must be someone that needs to hear it. So this is for men as well, okay, because we all need to have a balance of those two energies floating and flowing within us. So if you're a man watching this, don't worry that I'm just referring to mothers. There's also many fathers out there, and single fathers as well, that also need to kind of balance those energies within themselves as well. So, very sweet. This is doTERRA's version of perfume. So doTERRA's oils are quite pure. They're food grade. Most of them can be eaten. And as I like to say, if you're putting something on your body, whether it's a cream, shampoo, whatever, it should be kind of good enough to eat. So most of our oils are food grade. There are a couple of exceptions. Usually you could tell by reading the label on the bottle. What does this blend do? Basically, it helps you to reconnect with that feminine aspect of yourself, the softness that you might have lost because life just kind of got in the way. So it just breathing it in helps you soften. The other way to use it is, and this one's already diluted. You would hear me say always dilute your oils, but this one's already got fractionated coconut oil, so you can put it right on your wrists. I like to also put it on my heart. But the good thing about this oil is putting it on your sacral chakra. Now, people that are familiar with chakras, it's your belly. So I'm not going to show you that. I'll just pretend that I'm putting it on my belly. Okay, because that's that womb, that center of the womb. And also our relationships with others, whether sexual or just sensual or family relations. So this one really softens that energy. So if you're in a rut, if you're really stressed, and if you're just work mode, to-do lists, really use Whisper to soften. Have it in your bag just to remind you of your soft essence, and that every phase only lasts a time. So don't wish your life away. Don't wish that you're not a mother or that you're not a career woman or anything like that. Just use it to help you to tap into those parts of yourself. It's a nice one to use if you want to do any kind of ritual to attract a partner, if you're single, in my humble opinion. It also helps really reconnect with the ancestry line, so mothers and grandmothers. So if you've got a broken relationship with your mother or grandmother, if there's a little bit of a pattern there, it's a really nice one to use, because quite often women and men that were traumatized either in childhood or have had quite a few traumatic experiences, that femininity, that part of them is wounded and lost. So this oil just kind of helps us to reconnect and rebalance that energy. I hope that was really of some use to you. It's a really sweet one. I'm happy to share. If you want to smell it and you're in New Zealand, I'm happy to give you a little smell. Otherwise, try it out, reach out, and I can show you how you can open up your own account and have it for yourself if that's what draws you to it. But no need to use toxic perfumes. Throw that stuff away. That stuff just lowers the frequency, and here to natural solutions and natural perfumes. Good night.